Time now for the Wall Street Beat, because after her first week as a 2024 presidential candidate, Vice President Kamala Harris has raised $200 million. Her campaign says 66% of her fundraising tally came from first-time donors. Joining us now is David Gura, host of Bloomberg's Big Take. And you think about where that money is coming from. What does it say about what the campaign is going to look like at the end of the day? The dollars are large.
Yeah, they've managed to capture a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of money as well. And what we've seen these last few weeks is her really traveling a ton, certainly by comparison to Joe Biden when he was the candidate. And her husband, Dorf, is in Martha's Vineyard today. He's going to host two fundraisers as well. So you're seeing, again, this effort to get people who were sitting on the sidelines to come in and donate money, but also this overture to high-dollar, wealthy donors as well.
The interesting thing to me is that it's not the same old people, you know, donating money to the Democratic Party over and over again. A ton of the money, I think even maybe the lion's share, is new donations.
New donations, and this kind of mirrors what we're seeing in the polls, which is, a couple of weeks ago, it seemed like there were a lot of people who were undecided, who were unenthusiastic about participating in the election. They're now showing more enthusiasm, and that's really like who the campaign is homing in on, trying to get them to come and be donors as well.
So, of course, we've seen this big burst, but this comes after a lull of Democratic fundraising. And are they expected to keep this momentum going? Or, again, is this just sort of a enthusiastic one-time sort of shot?
That's the hope, and so it's been just a couple of weeks, which is crazy to say, but we've seen Kamala Harris's efforts at fundraising. Now she has to pick her running mate, and part of that is to certainly not forestall the momentum that she's had, hopefully to carry it forward even more. So part of that calculus that she's going through right now in picking that running mate certainly has to do with fundraising. And so, the governor of Minnesota, Governor Walz, is somebody who's the head of the Democratic Governors Association. He's raised a ton of money for Democratic governors broadly. J.B. Pritzker, another person who's kind of in that dozen or so people who are being looked at, of course, has a vast personal fortune and lots of connections as well. So it's not like the decisive element in all of this, but certainly something that she and the campaign are looking at as they make this decision.
Who are the front runners here? Because you think about what you see in Arizona, for example, Senator Mark Kelly and his expertise in the border versus Josh Shapiro over in Pennsylvania has a swing state. What's more important at this juncture?
Well, and don't forget Pete Buttigieg. I mean, Matty Iglesias on our Bloomberg Opinion had a great piece about how well he speaks and debates.
Yeah, he was on Fox News Sunday this weekend, and I think everyone would comported himself really well in that appearance.
There's amazing shots from that
amazing shots, and he's so good at that. He's certainly one of these 12 people who are being looked at. I will say the bulk of that list are governors. And so what we've kind of heard from the campaign is they're looking at people with executive experience. So you mentioned Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania won his race by a wide margin, has proven himself to be an effective fundraiser and somebody who's comfortable on the national stage as well. Roy Cooper of my home state, North Carolina, seen as kind of a similar way, a centrist governor with a lot of experience. Kind of connective tissue through all of these folks is they've been attorneys general before in their states. Kamala Harris is one as well. So she has some familiarity with a lot of these governors, especially who've come up through that path.
Just quickly, let's talk quickly about the Republican side of things, because Kamala Harris over the weekend calling J.D. Vance weird, for example, that's a direct quote from her, and it just feels like in general he's come under some scrutiny.
Yeah, and that's like very much a tack that the Kamala Harris campaign has been using, is trying to paint what Donald Trump's been saying as kind of off or strange or weird, as you say. I think that's going to continue. Look, Donald Trump was at this Bitcoin conference in Nashville over the weekend, delivered a big speech there that was kind of a mix of his stock and trade, usual boilerplate, getting into crypto as well. And he raised a lot of money on the sidelines of that, too. I mean, he had a fundraiser where I think the ticket went for more than $800,000 a head. So he recognizes, I think, the seriousness, like the way that the campaign has changed, the way that the donor game has changed as well. And so he'll be pushing ahead seriously in these next 100 days. It's crazy, just 99 days to go now until the election.
All right. Well, in some countries, that's a lot of time before an election, right? And maybe it's going to be a better thing for all of us.
I think that is. I mean, I won't say it's likely, but I think it'll bear some scrutiny.
Obama came out of nowhere, right?
That's right. I mean, there you go.